Welcome back to Biz Today, where we are trying to understand how low the low-cost carriers are actually getting. Now, the big airlines are finally hitting back at their low-fare startup rivals. In fact, in the month of April, for the first time in 13 months, the group of 4 startup airlines, Air Deccan, Kingfisher, SpiceJet and GoAir, saw their combined market share drop to 33%. That's nearly 2% less than in the previous month. Subhash Goyal is right here. He does this business every day in and day out. Perhaps he can be best answer to address that question, sir.
Well, as far as the low-cost carriers are concerned, they are definitely there to stay. Why I say that is because if you see United States of America, where the legacy carriers tried their best to compete with Southwest, they failed to do so. And Southwest is the only airline in United States of America which is making money, apart from Continental.
Agreed. But you, as the president of the Indian Tour Association of Operators in India, would definitely be concerned if the low-cost air carriers, which are nascent to this country, are already losing market share to the bigger players, and they're already hitting strong competition against the railways.
Well, the railways is a definitely different market. And the low-cost carriers, I think if you take SpiceJet, it's doing quite well. The share may be 7% because the number of aircrafts they have is also less compared to Jet. And the load factor of SpiceJet is one of the best in the industry.
But look at the fares. The low-cost fares, if you remember, were promised to be cheaper than the second AC fares. And that's not happening. In fact, railways have really taken the gap there.
No, you have yourself answered the question. Because there's hardly any saving as far as money is concerned, but you save 29 hours and 12 hours respectively in 2 destinations. So this amount is a huge saving.
No, but you have to understand that the low-cost airlines, very categorically, every single player had promised that they will bring you airlines which are much cheaper than the second-class easy fares.
Well, this will ultimately happen. Right now the situation is slightly bad because the fuel has gone up from $50 to now $70 a barrel. But still I feel, and I'm confident, that in the low-cost carriers, if they maintain their punctuality, if they maintain their safety of the aircraft, unfortunately Air Deccan had 1 or 2 incidents where the traffic went low. But as far as Kingfisher and SpiceJet are concerned, they are definitely going to be very good players.
Okay.
Kingfisher has a low cost at the back and a very good first-class service in the front.
It's good. It's good that you mentioned Air Deccan. Let me just show you what the stock market thinks of it, because ideally they're the people who are going to invest into the airlines. Now, nothing reflects the state of domestic low-cost carriers better than what Subhash was saying, the pioneer Air Deccan, India's original budget carrier. It crash-landed on Dalal Street on Monday, suffering one of the worst listing debacles ever. And that too after it reduced its offer price, even postponing its listing by a session. Now, yet the scrip listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange is 5 paise above the offer price of 148. By closing, it was a whopping 1/3 down, a staggering loss of 50 rupees a share. It continued its plunge since. Of course, it recovered a bit today, but it's still way off that offer price, which goes to show the lack of confidence in Air Deccan as an investor. Not to say that the same is not there as a passenger, sir.
Well, it is very unfortunate that Air Deccan came up with its public issue at a time when the stock exchange, not only for Air Deccan but for all other airlines, was crashing. And even if you see the Jet Air stocks, they went down. So that was sort of bad luck.
Obviously there is a feeling, it's not a bad luck. So obviously there's a feeling that the business model is not going to work. They've got to change that around. Perhaps there has to be a rethinking on that account.
No, yes, there has to be re-strategizing as far as Air Deccan is concerned. Air Deccan should have remained focused on the secondary tier cities rather than starting in the main metros competing with
so the business model needs to be altered. You agree with that?
No, there needs to be only a strategic change. And in the long run, you're here, I'm here, I can guarantee you the low-cost carriers in a flight which is less than 3 hours all over the world are going to succeed, and the legacy carriers and full service carriers will succeed only in the long haul.
Let's look at the state today. Don't you agree that many a time, even your travel agents like yourself and your companies and other people actually say, look, there's not too much of a difference, because first of all, you're not sure whether they're going to get your ticket. You've got to book it well in advance. You're not sure whether they're going to get your ticket. Then you don't even know whether they're going to get there on time. There's no one to answer your questions. And the services, if I could say so, in a lot of cases are pathetic.
No, sorry, I beg to differ from you, because as far as all these three carriers are concerned, whether it is Kingfisher, whether it is SpiceJet, the service is excellent, the reservation systems are very good. As far as Air Deccan is also concerned, with due respect, I think they have done a fantastic job. They have had a bad patch, but they are definitely going to recover, and in the long run, it is the low-cost carriers, and you will see Kingfisher emerging as one of the top airlines.
All right, okay, now for them to continue to remain low, right, they've got to got more aircrafts. They cannot subsist with so many aircrafts. They've got to multiply their business, because it's the business of economies of scale. Do you agree with that?
No, I agree with you totally.
Right.
But it is not just economies of scale.
But that's the primary reason. You cannot function without them.
It is also economizing your operations.
Right. Okay, that's step two.
And keeping your costs low.
Yeah, but you need to have those aircrafts finally to get economies of scale, and that's where my other problem lies. Because for low-cost air carriers to be successful, they need more of them. They've got to make the cost really low. For that, capital is required for those aircrafts to purchase them, something which is not easy to come by. Let's take a look. Well, Deccan Aviation managed to raise just 360 crore rupees through its recent IPO instead of 430 crore rupees originally planned. That's hardly sufficient, because the airline needs 16,000 crore rupees to fund its purchase of 92 planes over the next decade. Then, rival SpiceJet too finalized a 6,000 crore rupee expansion plan. It had earlier raised $80 million through FCCBs. It has decided against tapping the capital market as of now. Another startup, GoAir, it plans to buy 20 aircrafts. The build, 5,300 crores. Not even if these carriers dare to hit the markets, they have to compete with public sector giants like Air India, Indian Air and Indian reports are running their IPOs. That's something, of course, or maybe they'd even come out with a combined IPO. That's something that's not easy to find. But so the question of capital is going to be a serious issue, sir.
No, well, aviation is such an industry where you need deep pockets. The deeper the pockets, the better the chances for airlines to survive.
Sure.
But at the same time, you know, in a free market economy with open skies and deregulated economy, it is going to be the survival of the fittest. But it will be wrong to say that the low-cost airlines, their end has come.
I'm not saying the end has come, but they're losing out. The question is they're losing out.
Yes, they might be losing out for the time being. Only Air Deccan is losing out for the time being.
No, the overall market share has come down with the big market players. That's what the April statistics say.
This is a temporary phase. I see a lot of future in the low-cost airlines.
Without any change in the way they're working?
No, see, you know, business is like cycling. The moment you stop, you fall. Right. In any operations, you have to constantly strategize and react to the market challenges.
So obviously they've done something wrong, which they have to wake up to.
Well, they have not done something wrong. They are, I think,
they haven't done too many things right.
The stock exchange crash is something which they are not anticipating.
No, I'm just talking about, forget about the stock. What about the market share which they've lost, which is important?
No, market share they have lost is because in a depressed, you know, because of the stock exchange crash, a lot of travel which used to be, you know, which would have been generated with the stock exchange boom, there has been a slowing down of that. And secondly, tourism, actually leisure tourists are not there in large numbers.
Right.
It's the business tourists that are coming.
And
a lot of foreign airlines coming to the origin and destination points. The person comes to one point and goes back from there abroad.
Right, right.
So within, you know, there are 20 million people traveling on domestic airfares. Now, the growth that was expected has not been that fast. As fast as been the growth of the airline, there has been a mismatch.
So will sustenance be a problem?
Sustenance will be a problem if they do not put their act together. I think as far as, you know, if you take the world scenario, wherever the airline operations are less than 3 hours, whether it is AirAsia, whether it is Air Deccan, or it all the, or Southwest, or Ryanair, they're making money, whereas the legacy carriers are losing money.
Right. So let's just conclude by saying that if they don't get their act together, low-cost carriers could lose out. That's fair?
If
Very quickly, that's fair.
any carrier
Right.
would lose out. Sahara was a legacy carrier; it lost out.